Hey my dudes, my name is Cecilia and welcome to my kitchen here in Stockholm, Sweden. Today is the 4th day of 12 Days of Christmas 2023 and we are making VANILJFUDGE. Now, VANILJFUDGE translates somewhat obviously to vanilla fudge. This isn't quite like the American fudge that I have experienced. I feel like that tends to be pretty crumbly, pretty crystallized. This more Swedish style of fudge is really creamy and really smooth. Because this is vanilla fudge, I highly recommend that you spring for actual real vanilla beans. I know they can be really expensive, but it's really worth it in a recipe like this because it really makes a difference flavor-wise. If you want to use vanilla extract or vanilla sugar, they're still going to be delicious, but they're not going to be as vanilla-y. You know what I mean? This recipe calls for vitt syrup or white syrup. If you're not in Sweden or in Scandinavia, you can replace that with corn syrup. They're not quite the same thing, but they're close enough. Let's go get started. To begin, grease a small casserole dish. I don't have spray fat as usual, so I just brush on some neutral oil. Lay down a piece of parchment paper. Brush the parchment with more oil and then set to the side. Into a microwavable bowl, break up 300 grams of white chocolate. Melt and then set to the side. Scrape the seeds from one vanilla bean and place in a pot. I chose to use this 2.5 liter pot, but it would have been better if I had used my large stock pot. Anyway, pour in 450 grams of cream, 400 grams of sugar, and 420 grams of white syrup. Place on the stove and bring to a boil over medium heat. You can see as it comes to a boil that I'm really flirting with the risk of overboiling, and it definitely would have been easier in a bigger pot. Boil until it reaches 127 degrees Celsius, that's 260 degrees Fahrenheit. Turn off the heat and quickly add in 150 grams of butter and 5 grams of salt. Stir until the butter is completely melted. Working quickly, add a couple tablespoons of the hot caramel to the melted white chocolate and whisk together. Add a couple more tablespoons of caramel and keep whisking. The chocolate will break, this is what we want. Add several more tablespoons at a time until it comes together and you have a gorgeous, glossy emulsion. Switch to a spatula. Add in all the rest of the caramel and stir until there is no longer any streaks. Also, you can see that yet again, I have chosen a vessel just on the edge of being too small. Don't be like me, use a very large heat-proof bowl for this project and life will be much easier for you. Immediately pour into the grease pan and smooth out the top. Now all we have to do is let this cool and crystallize for 24 hours. It's the next day and our fudge has hardened nicely. We love to see it. And we should be able to just pop it out here. Oh, yep, perfect. Schlunk, easy. I think I was a little heavy-handed with the oil in a way I didn't quite need to be, but that's okay. Nothing a little paper towelage can't get rid of. If you had used like a spray fat, it shouldn't be as bad like this. Now all you gotta do is decide how big of pieces you want to cut yours into. What do I want to do is the question. Yeah, let's do by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And that side will just be a little bit on the big side. Go like that. And we go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Yeah, we'll have one row that's a little on the big side. That's okay. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then you just line it up and cut on through. If you want a nice clean cut, then you gotta wipe your knife every once in a while. All right, good enough. And now we finally get to try one. I'm gonna try a corner piece. Wow, great texture. Great texture. I will say though, these are sweet. Like, I love very sweet things. I have a very high tolerance for very sweet things. That's why I work in pastry. Like, I was a baker and pastry chef for a reason, but these are like very sugary, very sweet. They're delicious, but FYI, this is not a lagom candy. They're really tasty though. And they just have the greatest like texture. Very smooth. Love. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked today's video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you have a good day and that I'll see you around next time. Hejdå! Get this recipe and 23 more Swedish Christmas classics in my latest ebook, 24 Days of Christmas, available for purchase on my website now.